This is how to use the 48 laws of power to get princess treatment, attract a provider man, and get your dream life as a girl. And before we go into the first law, I want to say that this video is for the girlies that want to be strategic and who are determined to get princess treatment. If you are determined to get princess treatment, you also understand that it's all about strategy. And the tips and the laws that I'm going to be introducing to you are going to be strategic, which means they're not always going to be all comfortable, dandy, nice, and unicorny. Sometimes they are going to be things that you have to change about yourself that might be a little bit hard. But if you can be strategic now, in the long haul, you'll have a provider man, you'll get princess treatment from the world, you will find the resources and probably also the man who cares about you. And then you will have secured a lifetime of you being able to do whatever you want. But it requires for you to be strategic. And this is why we're using the 48 laws of power. So if you're ready to get your dream life, make sure you keep on watching. The first law you're going to have to apply if you want to get princess treatment is never outshine the master. And essentially that means you have to make men and society feel like they are powerful in order for them to do more for you. This one is especially hard for women that have a father wound and have grown up protecting themselves their whole lives. I know for a fact that this one was really hard for me because I grew up neurodivergent and I couldn't understand that me showing all of my knowledge was something that really threw people off, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting the treatment I wanted. But essentially, to get princess treatment, you have to make sure that those around you feel like they can do stuff for you. And you do not make them feel like that. If you're constantly correcting them, telling them how to do stuff, you have to dumb down. And I'm not saying that you have to be stupid. I'm saying you have to come off as if there are certain things that you just can't do. That you see that the world and men are going to be very, very good at helping you. And this is not you making yourself a victim and you being like, I can't do anything, help me. This is you acknowledging that you are not capable of mastering everything and then pointing out to people, men, that they're masters at it and you would love if they could help. It's not sitting in the corner and saying, I'm helpless, come help me. Maybe it's you putting up a shelf, and instead of you hustling and bustling, even though you know you can do it, you go ask your neighbor, hey, I know that you're really handy, would you mind coming and helping me? You call your guy friend. You say, I'm really struggling with being able to put up these shelves and I know you're really good at that. If you want to get princess treatment, you have to be good at playing on men and society's ego. If you're constantly showing how much you can do everything better, they're going to feel like you are masculine, and then they're not going to want to have anything to do with you, because masculine men that want to protect and provide for women are attracted to feminine women that are honest about the fact that they like masculine qualities that are action-based. A feminine woman is comfortable with sitting back and saying, you know what, I trust you and I know that you're very good at this. Essentially, you might have to play a little dumb while you look a little pretty. This also makes you less intimidating. The second law you have to apply. The second law is never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. It is very important when you want to get princess treatment that you do not listen to all the women that are saying that men are bad, men are terrible, men are stupid. You might think that women or your mom are your best allies in trying to get a good man. They want the best for you. No, you have to flip the script and understand that men who are often painted as enemies are the ones that you need to pour into. This does not mean people pleasing. This just means talking about them in a different way. Think about it like this. If you're around all of your single friends and suddenly you're talking about how, you know what, you want a man and you're sure you can find a good man. When you actually find a good man, they will start becoming envious because they've been painting a picture of men being terrible. Maybe you've been painting a picture of men being terrible. You cannot do that anymore if you want a man. If you instead start talking about men in a way where you say, I know you're always going to show up for me. I love how you're always keeping your promises. I always have very good experiences with men. You are making these men try to live up to the image you have created. Instead of painting them as an enemy, now they have to prove to you that they're on the same level as the treatment you've gotten or the image that you have of them. They want to live up to that image. It's in their subconscious. So if you say, I know you're always going to keep your promise to me. I really appreciate how good you take care of me. He's going to be like, yeah, I know, I do it good, and he's going to want to do it more. The third law is conceal your intentions. And this goes for both the girlies that you hang out with, your mom, and also the men you go on dates with. You cannot be speaking loud and clear about the fact that you want princess treatment and that you want a provider man. If they have no clue what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense against you. As soon as you tell them that you want princess treatment and you're looking for a provider man, they're going to start trying to tear you down and they're going to have time to speculate against you. So when you go on dates with guys or you go hang out with your girlfriends, do not make it evident that you're looking for a man to take care of you or you're looking for princess treatment. It's like you revealing all of your cards while playing poker. People are going to use that against you. Make sure you keep it to yourself and know within your heart that it's your desire and you will get it. And then also move as if you already have it, especially when you're on a date. Don't be verbal about what you want. Show it, express it in how you carry yourself, how you dress, and what you're interested in. The fourth law is always say less than necessary. If you're telling people, I want princess treatment, I'm going to find myself a provider man, it's going to come off if you've never ever gotten that type of treatment and that it's just a word that you learned from social media yesterday. It's much more important that you focus on embodying the treatment that you want, showing that you're used to getting princess treatment, expecting it without saying it. This means dressing feminine. This means carrying yourself in a feminine, slow way. This means being polite yet still assertive about what you accept and what you don't accept. You're trying to talk a guy's ear off about how you want 100 red roses and a Birkin bag and a G-Wagon and he has to pay all your bills. And you say, I know that's right when he pays the bill. He's going to be like, this girl is out of control. She's never been treated right in her entire life and she is not good news. I'm going to skip. A man does not want a woman who's never been used to be treated well before. He wants a woman who already embodies it, especially if he's a provider man. The next law is guard your reputation with your life. And what does that mean when it comes to getting princess treatment? It means you have to make sure that you do not come off as someone who is desperate, and you cannot be going out and partying, clubbing, hanging around men that are just there to give you drink. And then go on dates the next day on some I want to be wined and dined. You can also not be the type of woman who uses swearing, who shouts the B word at everyone, at their friends, at people they don't know. It's going to come very much off as if you do not respect yourself. It's also going to give people a certain power of being able to control your narrative because you are not careful about it. If you want to get princess treatment, you can't just be living your life and then expecting some man to show up and start giving you everything. If you want a provider man, but you got countless of bikini pictures on your Tinder, do you think this man is going to see you as someone he wants to guard and protect, which is what you want? No, he's not. There might be some guy who's going to trick on you and ghost you because you look like the type of girl who's here for validation. But then again, that's what you're going to be known for. This is also why it's very important that you dress feminine, you dress soft. And a lot of girls might say, well, I want to dress in my streetwear. And you know what? You can in the long run when you have everything you desire, the resources that you want, and you don't have to compromise yourself. But when you are trying to get princess treatment and a soft life, a guy to provide for you, he has to see you as someone who is worth protecting, and you're not going to come off as someone who's worth protecting if you're wearing all these types of loud brands, loud designs, baggy jeans, baggy jackets, sneakers here, sneakers there. It's going to kind of look like you can already stand up for yourself because the way you're dressing is expressing that you're here to show people that this is you and nobody can stop you. And that is giving off masculine energy. As much as streetwear is absolutely cool, and I absolutely also think you can incorporate some streetwear into a feminine style, people have to be able to read your reputation from how you look. If you have your thong out in your baggy jeans, it's going to send a specific signal. If you're wearing a crop top out, it's going to send a specific signal. Law number 6 is court attention at all costs. In today's world, a lot of women are very, very comfortable with being comfortable. They don't want to sacrifice their comfortability. It's all about, well, I want to be like this, so you have to accept it. So they wear Uggs and sweatpants to the mall that they've been wearing at home, and they wear it sitting on their couch and sitting on their bed. And they expect the world to give them princess treatment. They wear the thong and the crop top, and they expect the world to give them princess treatment. They say that they are different or they're authentic, but in reality, everyone and their mom today are interested in streetwear. Either interested in streetwear or they're interested in wearing baggy sweatpants and Uggs. Women should have the right to choose whatever they want to wear. Yes, I absolutely believe in that. And you can also still very much express your personality with what you wear, but you have to court attention. You have to be someone who stands out. And you know what stands out more than anything today? A woman who looks classy and a woman who looks extremely put together and feminine. A woman who wears long flowy skirts and long flowy dresses, pink, who wears floral designs, who wears a classy dress or skirt with a classy bag, with classy nails, who still has her makeup done. She might still have a couple of tattoos here and there. She's not going to look extremely cookie cutter, but it's going to be very, very clear that she is a feminine woman. The whole I want to look the way I want to look is very defensive and it's also very masculine. And this is a game of strategy. This is not a game of comfort. So you have to be comfortable making yourself look like you do not stand out in the crowd. And today, the crowd is the people that look alternative. It is the people that dress in streetwear. It is the people that dress in Uggs and sweatpants. That is the crowd. That is what is common. So if you want to be uncommon, you need to look put together and you need to look classy and you need to look feminine. That is what there's way less of. Everyone and their mom can pull off having piercings and blue hair, wearing sweatpants and Uggs, or wearing streetwear, a babe hoodie, sneakers, looking like you are straight from a Pinterest search called streetwear baddie. You can still incorporate some of the things that you like into your new feminine style, but this is a game of strategy, and I've said that before. And the way you gain attention from men who are masculine and want to take care of you is for you to look extremely feminine, because then you are one who makes it very clear that you are the opposite of him, and the opposite of a masculine man is a very feminine woman, and that is what a very masculine man is attracted to. And then you also send a signal that you are supposed to be taken care of in a specific way. Let's think about it like this. If you are a woman who wears baggy jeans, sneakers, her thong out, a crop top, you're standing beside a woman with a little kitten heel, a pink skirt, cute little handbag, a little flowy pink floral shirt. Who do you think a man is going to say is the most in need of protection just from looks? He's going to say the woman dressed in the feminine clothes. Visual stuff matters. The next law is get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. When you want to get princess treatment, a man to provide for you, you already know how to make men do stuff for you. You know how to motivate men to help you put up a shelf. You know how to motivate men to take care of you. You have your guy friends that drive you around town. Maybe you have a boyfriend or a fiance that takes care of stuff for you. The way for the world to show you princess treatment, or for everyone to show you princess treatment in general, is for you to come off as if you demand these things effortlessly and not list that you got all of these people doing stuff for you, or even just one guy. Because princess treatment is much more than just getting it from some guy. It also has to do with you getting it from the world, so you can live a softer life where you have to do less and have to use less of your precious energy to waste on people. Let people help you out. When you carry yourself for you, so it's going to look like you have got things together. You're not going to be like, this guy did this guy did that. Oh yeah, the reason I look so well is because my man takes good care of me. Tell your man that. He deserves to know that. But don't run around and tell society that. Come off as if it's an expectation you've had your whole life. Also, don't make it seem like you know all of this information from the internet when you're out there using these strategies. Make sure that you pass it off as if it's something that's a part of you and you've always known. A guy does not need to know that you're spending time on YouTube watching videos on you getting princess treatment. Be secretive about that. Share that with the other girls that you know, or with me. Share it with the people that applaud you for trying to get your dream life and who are also trying to be strategic. It's going to come off as if you know how to get things done and things just get done quickly with you, which means people are going to do things more quickly for you because they're going to see that you value efficiency and you know how to get things taken care of. You are taken care of, which means they're going to take care of things, and that's just going to speed everything up. On number 8 is make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These are strategic things. You have to keep that in mind when you're learning what I'm telling you here. Whenever it is you're trying to get princess treatment from a guy or the world, it's very important that you make it seem like it's his idea to pursue you and it's not your idea to control him. This is why it's very important that you focus on your feminine looks. You make sure that you praise him for the things that he is able to do for you, wow, you're really able to handle that. I know you're the type of guy who can help out with this. You just make me feel so good when I know that you can help me out with these things. I thought of you today. And then go about your day. If you plant ideas, subtle little ideas about things you're interested in, things you'd like in your life, when he makes a move towards you, he's going to think it's his idea to do what it is that you gave him bait to go for. Maybe you're on a date and you ask the guy, what's something you've always dreamt about doing? And then of course he asks you the question back because he's nice. And you're like, you know what? I've always really dreamt about going to Paris. I've always dreamt about being a housewife. I've always dreamt about going ice skating, but I'm really scared of doing it. So I feel like I would need someone to come with me. Maybe he's going to invite you ice skating. He's going to feel like it's his idea and he's going to feel very protective because now he's the one trying to protect you and showing you that he can be this protective man while you're ice skating. This is why it's also very important for you to be positive and nice and smiley. You cannot make someone treat you nice if you do not look like someone who's a nice person. You have to plant ideas with awe and gratitude and excitement. So he's like, I want to make sure that she keeps being this excited because I like being in her company. The next law is win through actions and never through argument. When you're trying to set boundaries and standards for the life that you want as a girl who wants princess treatment or a provider man, you cannot be saying, I want this, I want that, I want the third. You have to show it through the way that you carry yourself. You have to show it through your dedication to yourself, and you have to show it through your boundaries. You cannot be saying, you clock it when the guy pays for your bill. You cannot be telling some guy who does not care about giving you princess treatment that he should give you princess treatment. It should come as his idea. It should not come as something you're bringing up because you're desperate to get it. Man will only ever give you princess treatment from you saying loud and clear, I want princess treatment, because he feels like you're nagging on his ego. And that's going to end up building resentment. And this is not going to be the type of partner who's going to stand by you in the long haul, who's going to be able to facilitate the life that you want in the long haul, where you can be able to do whatever you want for the long. You never have to worry about anything again. This guy is going to grow resentful off you because you want this and you want that and you're bitter about it. You should demonstrate the life that you want and the life you expect. Be happy with the life that you already have so that a guy has to really, really do a lot in order for him to impress you. You already have to buy flowers for yourself. You already have to wear nice jewelry. You already have to take care of yourself. You cannot be screaming on the floor saying, you need to take care of me, you need to take care of me, you need to take care of me. You show that you already take care of yourself, not on some, I take care of myself, I'm a boss lady, but on some, oh, I really love flowers. I always make sure I have flowers at home. I really love paintings and beautiful things. I love going shopping. I just love getting new pretty clothes, a new pretty dress, and you look like you already take care of yourself. He's going to be like, okay, I clock it. I got to do something to take care of her. Law number 10 is avoid the unlucky and the unhappy. You have to stay away from anyone who does not want you to prosper. If it's your mom, if it's your best friends, if it's someone you used to hang out with, if they do not want the life that you want for yourself and they're resentful, they're negative, they have victim complexes, you have to stay far away from them. You also have to stay far away from broke guys, which means you have to stay far away from dating apps. The unlucky, the unhappy men are always on dating apps and they're just trying to get validation. And the easiest way to get validation is to go on a platform where women willingly put themselves out there into a validation game where they feel inclined to text people back because they opted into this. So you have to remove yourself from that. And you might think, how am I going to be able to meet a man? The man who is going to be right for you, you are going to meet him. But you have to remove yourself from the game of the unlucky and the unhappy. Because the men on dating apps, they feel like they can claim you as soon as they see you. If you want princess treatment, if you want to be treated like a goddess, you cannot be in the pool with these men. You have to be way above that, which means you physically have to remove yourself from that. It is going to make your dating pool way smaller, but it is necessary because not everyone is going to be able to provide the life that you want. And you have to have one good player instead of many mediocre or below mediocre players, which is going to give you more time to focus on yourself because you're not going to go on dates with guys just because of vibes or because you felt inclined to. Law number 11 is learn to keep people dependent on you. This means you gotta turn up that feminine energy that people are literally starving for. When they feel your presence, you have to be this beautiful, kind and amazing soul that they never meet anywhere else, because they're going to want to protect that. They're dependent on that because the whole world is so darn masculine that the only way they can get that is for them to protect you, because then you can be even more feminine. And then when they're around you and they're protecting you, they're also dependent on you. You get to be blessed by them being there for you, monetarily, helping you out, all of this. Feminine energy is very strong because men cannot be taught it. I mean, men can try to embody it, but those are the men you have to stay far away from. But masculine men know that it's not a part of their nature to be extremely feminine. So they're going to want to come back to you for that feminine nurturing power. Law number 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. You're going to have to lie. And you might have to make up some embarrassing story about yourself that give people empathy for you. And I'm not saying you have to cry on the floor and be like, my life is so hard. This is more for you to show that you have flaws. You have to show people that you have flaws, because then they focus on the flaws that you have given them rather than the flaws that they're going to try to spot if you appear too perfect. If you appear too perfect, society is going to try to find any little thing and pin against you, and that's going to be really hard and it's going to burn you out. Instead, it's a good idea for you to have certain flaws that you do highlight subtly. It's a strategic way of controlling the narrative. And it's going to bring down the guard of people. It's going to bring down the guard of men so that you're not going to seem as intimidating. You're not going to seem as someone who's trying to outsmart anyone. You're going to seem like a flawed person who has her own stuff going on. And then you're going to be able to move much more strategically because they're not going to think too much about what you're doing. They're going to think, oh yeah, she has this going on. She has that going on. But again, it's not about you crying in the corner. It's about you being, you know what, I have some things that I have to figure out. It is not you trauma dumping. It is not you sharing your whole childhood story about everything bad that happened in your life. It is you being strategic and saying, I just feel really embarrassed about talking about my school years because I got bullied, or I'm really insecure about my height. Height is a really good one to use because it's not like you can change your height. And it's also really good to use strategic honesty with flaws that you don't actually have, because it's easier for you to sniff out whether someone's narcissistic and who's trying to use it against you. If you have specific flaws that you're trying to highlight, then you'll be able to sniff out if they're going to use it against you, because you know that this is not something that you actually truly care about, and then you can get rid of them out of your life much quicker. When asking for help, appeal to other people's self-interest and not to their mercy and gratitude. A lot of girls have a tendency to think that if they want princess treatment and they want to be taken care of by society, they're going to have to look like a damsel in distress. They're going to have to have a messy bun and dirty clothes and sit on the floor, be like, help me out, help me out. That is not going to get you princess treatment, because you're going to look like a beggar. You're going to look like someone who's never gotten anything good in your life. This is why instead you have to use your pretty privilege. You have to look so good that when people are around you, the reason that they treat you good is because you look good and you make them feel good. You have to appeal to their self-interest. They do not want to support you if you're some charity case. They're not going to be proud of having you as their wife or their girlfriend if you're a charity case. You're going to have to show that you put effort into yourself, and then people are going to be like, I'm around this girl because she puts effort into herself. I put effort into her, so I have people that put effort into themselves around me. This is why you gotta look like you're the trophy. You gotta look like you're the trophy wife. You gotta use your pretty privilege. You gotta make sure you look feminine. You gotta wear makeup to make sure it looks like you put a lot of effort into yourself. People are gonna be like, I wanna be around that beautiful woman because she's beautiful and I can tell she puts effort into herself. Not, I wanna be around that woman because I wanna show people how much mercy I have. People do not go for that unless they're very good people with a lot of money from some fairy tale Disney movie. Even in the Disney movie, the women that end up getting the prince, who go from having nothing to having more, they always know how to dress up as a princess. So the guy's going to be like, okay, she's willing to make an effort with herself. They want to be around her for her radiance. And then later, when he finds out that she has 2 evil stepsisters and an evil stepmom, he's going to be like, you know what? I see you making an effort with yourself. I see how far you are willing to go to make yourself better. I will take you out of this situation. Whatever bad things you are going through, make sure that it's not the first thing a guy sees. This goes for other situations too. I myself am a neurodivergent, and in school, I used to get counseling because I needed a little extra support. But because I was always very well put together, they were super surprised about the fact that I was neurodivergent. But it made them extremely positively inclined to help me out and give me a lot more leverage. They gave me much better treatment. I had to go to school way less because I showed that I was making an effort. I still got good grades. I still turned in my papers. I still looked presentable. So when I told them my struggles, they were like, wow, you're really doing a lot. Of course, we're going to help you out. Law number next is pose as a friend, work as a spot. This is where you have to act really, really dumb. When you're around men, you have to look really pretty and then play dumb, because then they're gonna reveal so much more about themselves because they don't think that you pick up on all of the small things that they're doing or saying, and you are gonna be able to sniff much easier, whatever it is they got going on and what they're trying to play on you. When you look really pretty and you play dumb, people's guards go down significantly, and then usually they start revealing all of their little secrets, and you can start figuring out what their true intentions are. So don't be afraid to make yourself look less smart in certain areas. Honestly, I'm a neurodivergent and I have zero social cues in so many ways, and it always kind of ends up being a good thing for me because then people start revealing more stuff because they think I'm just not that smart. And honestly, that is one of the smartest things that I've ever learned to take advantage of. Now I have more social cues, but it's because I know how to use them to my advantage. And then when you make people less intimidated, especially men, you can also move up socially. I've made another video about this where I talk about how you can move up socially using your pretty privilege, called Don't Sleep on the Power of Pretty Privilege. Make sure you go check that one out. Law number 15 is crush your enemies totally. This essentially means you have to cut out people that are not willing to facilitate the life that you want. Both your friends and family, and also men that just do not cut it. Because if you keep them lingering around, they're gonna find some way to get to you. So it's better to just get it done and leave it right out instead of you hanging around just to see if they will redeem themselves. If they will redeem themselves in a good way, they're going to come to you even though you set your boundaries and you say, I don't want to deal with this at all. And you leave completely. So make sure you crush your enemies totally by exiting situations fully. And this does not mean you have to be rude about it, especially when it comes to family members or friends that you're breaking up with. You have to be polite and still assertive. And when it comes to family members and friends, sometimes you just have to let things kind of fizz out. Don't tell them that you're leaving. Don't tell them that you're not going to talk to them that much anymore. Let it fizz out naturally. But this is you crushing the enemy instead of you hanging on to things that are not going to serve you. A law number next is use absence to increase respect and honor. When you're trying to get a man to provide your dream life for you and people to give you more princess treatment, you also have to be more scarce with your energy. You cannot be hanging around people all the time because then it's going to be like, what else you got going on in your life? You got nothing better to do? Okay, I can control you more. The way that people start respecting you is when you retract yourself. Same goes for friends and families or the guy you want to be with. I'm not saying you have to go ghost and be like, I don't have time. I never have time. But make sure you got stuff going on for yourself. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you go out to the movies. Make sure you got things that you got going on. Hey, you know what? I got plans. I have things to do. Maybe we can go and do something next week. I have some time open then. Be polite, be respectful, but make it clear that you got stuff you got going on. And don't rub it in someone's face. That's also going to come off super unladylike. So don't do that. But increase the scarcity of what is you so that people actually need to do more to be in contact with you. Use law number 17, keep others in suspense, cultivate an air unpredictability. Basically, make sure that you have a couple wild cards up your sleeve. Maybe you're the type of girl who's dressed really modestly, but then you say, oh, you know what? I actually got a secret tattoo. Maybe you are someone who's really into karaoke, and maybe it turns out that you can actually sing. Maybe it turns out that you're really, really into cars. Maybe it turns out that your friend invited you on this trip and now you're gonna go. You're kind of like a free bird and no one's gonna be able to cage you, so you're just gonna do whatever it is you want to do, but in a free-spirited way. And you're just going to have some cards up your sleeve that no one really expected from you. And that's actually going to really make a man very excited because he's going to see that you're just someone who's your own self. You're more than just your pretty face. And actually, men do value more than the pretty face, but a pretty face along with you being someone who just wants to do whatever it is you want to do is the power combination. But don't reveal it all on the first date on some, I like singing, I like dancing, I like this and I like that, and I have 5 tattoos and they're all placed here and here and here. Keep some of that stuff to yourself and let it come out naturally. Law number 18 is do not build a fortress to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. If you want to get a provider man, you cannot be sitting at home and waiting for Harry Styles, who's a fairy, to appear in your bedroom and say, I will now give you your dream life and your dream man. He's not going to do that. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to apply yourself and you are going to have to go out. And I'm not saying you have to go out and sit at some bar like the only girl, because it's going to be very clear that you're here just to talk to men. Go out and do things. Go to a new gym class. Go to the movie. Go to car events. Go and check out stuff you've never checked out before. Go traveling. Go window shopping. Go to the nice area of your city and go window shopping. Go into the nice stores. Get used to going into the nice stores. Grab a coffee at a really, really nice coffee shop and sit and do some work there and read. That's enough. You don't even have to go and interact with people. Just go out and sit at that coffee shop. Go and sit on a little bench in the nice neighborhood by the water and read your book while looking as pretty as you are. If you isolate yourself, how are you ever going to be able to receive and invite in the things that you want? Know who you're dealing with and do not offend the wrong person. Again, this is why it's very important for you to stay off the dating apps and do not go and try to use these tactics on guys that are just trying to go on dating apps to get some woman to validate him. That's not going to work, and he's going to sniff you out, or he's going to get angry at you, and then you're going to end up in a situation that's more ugly, and you're going to have drained yourself, and you're going to feel less worthy, and he's going to try to manipulate you. It's just a bunch of mess. Know who you're dealing with. Be very intentional about the things that you do. Be carefree and happy, but also don't just do things to do things like, haha, I'm gonna try this out on some guy because it's vibey. You do not have time for that. Don't do that. Law number 20 is do not commit to anyone. The only person you should be committed to when it comes to you getting princess treatment is yourself, unless of course this guy actually shows you a lot of commitment. He shows that he's able to put you in a better situation and he is upfront about being worthy for you to commit to. This is why you should have certain boundaries with what you're willing to commit to or not. This could be physical boundaries, saying you're not interested in being physical with anyone who you haven't built a connection to and you're not in a long-term relationship with. Because a lot of the ways that women get played is because they are intimate with men too early and they start bonding with them with their oxytocin and then they start chasing them. If you're open about the fact that you might want a relationship, but you don't know, when the right guy presents itself, you know that you're going to be more than happy to commit, but you know what, you're pretty happy as you are. Do not rub it in some guy's face because he's going to be like, okay, boss woman, I'm going to leave you alone. But be playful and have your boundaries. Tell them the type of life that you want. You know what? I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I really want to be the type of wife who supports his man in his business. You're also going to have to go out with very specific men for this, not just anyone. But if they want that type of life, they're going to be happy about accommodating that. And then do not just go with him because you're thinking that maybe you can work on him. He's going to have to work on himself. You're not going to be the one working on him. Law number 21 is seem dumber than you are. I've said this before and I'm gonna say this again. If you want to catch men's true intentions, you gotta play dumb so that their guards are down, so that they're gonna reveal their true selves. This is why you gotta look really, really pretty, because then you're gonna reveal their true intentions. If they're super, super shallow, and if you seem dumber, then it's also gonna be easy for you to exit because you can just play on the dumb thing. Law number 22, use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. This one is especially very important to use around the type of women that are trying to bring you down for wanting princess treatment. If they're trying to tell you about the life that they want and then they could never be the type of woman who wants to get treated like a princess by a man because she thinks that that's a weak sign of a woman, just be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Same thing goes for if you end up on a date with some guy who's definitely not your vibe. Just agree, nod along, and then when you go home after the date, make sure you never call the guy again. It's better for him or for your girlfriends to think they're right so that you can make your own moves in peace. Because if they think you're someone who's trying to make a point, then they're going to have a much easier time trying to go against you because you've aggravated them. So just let them be right and let yourself get the peace. And this can be really hard if you're someone who wants to go for a lot of justice, but you have to make peace with it. This is all about strategy, so do what you need to do. Law number 23 is concentrate your forces. Make sure that you focus on yourself first and foremost. You cannot be focusing on everyone and their mother and people pleasing everyone. You have to focus on your pretty privilege. You have to focus on making yourself look good, taking care of your body, making yourself the best version of yourself, doing your inner work, shadow work, all of that. You have to concentrate your forces on yourself, because if you're not concentrating your forces on yourself, how is a man ever going to do that to you? You got to treat yourself like the asset that you are. You got to invest in yourself. Okay, that's how you got to do it. And one of the easiest way for you to leverage princess treatment from society is for you to look good, look put together, look classy, have your makeup done, have your hair looking nice, have your nails looking nice. Society is very upfront. Society is very visual based. This is gonna work. It might sound shallow because that's how the world is. You're gonna have to use it to your strategy. In the end, you might not even have to wear makeup ever again because you have all the resources that you want. But right now, you gotta play the strategic game. And the fat cow that you can milk again and again and again will be your looks, because it's much easier to play dumb, act like a girl who's ditzy if you are really, really pretty, because people do not expect pretty girls to be smart. Law number 24 is play the perfect courtier or seem like the perfect woman. And obviously, you're not someone who has to manipulate yourself or act like you're not yourself, but you gotta know how to stroke a man's ego in order for him to feel like you're an asset and that you're someone he wants to bring around. That's just natural. You need to make him feel like he knows how to swing his sword and do his thing. You need to make him feel like a man. It's very simple. Show him that you are loyal to him and you understand the power that he holds. And of course, don't do this to a man who's an absolute idiot. Don't do that. But make sure that you make the guy who you understand is good, understand the power that he holds, because that's also going to make him feel like you're someone who's going to be willing to stand by his side and support him in the long run. And these are the 24 first laws of the 48 laws of power and how to use them to get princess treatment and get a man to provide for you. If you want to see a part 2, make sure you leave it down in the comment section below. And we're going to go over the next 24 laws. But I wanted to make sure that this video wasn't like 2 hours long. So make sure that you go and check out the first video first, aka this video.